So we are back here with another tier list today, moving on to the next position, going with left fielders. Left field, not necessarily one of the strongest positions in baseball, but there are some very, very good players, and it brings up a good conversation about who's really at the top of this position. Because really in the outfield, the premier positions right now are center field and right. Left field though, they still got some players there. So let's go through all the players that are in left field for their respective teams this season, rank them in our tier list from superstar all the way down to trash as we always do, and give you my thoughts and opinion, which you guys definitely sometimes don't agree with. So as always, if you guys do enjoy these tier lists, you want to see more of them on the channel, make sure to drop a like on the video. That's the best way to show your support. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you do, click that sub button, join the team. We're so close to 200K. I'd really appreciate if we could hit that by the end of July. Get in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about my tier list. Where would you put some guys, or who did I misrank? And make sure you drop me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in description. I'm headed off to the MLB Draft Combine tomorrow, so if you want some inside looks at that content, I'm telling you, you need to follow me. This thing's gonna be sick. I'm so pumped for it. So yeah, let's hop into this tier list here. Superstar all the way down to trash. You know how we do it over here. And we got to start off with Andrew Benintendi. And Andrew Benintendi's probably saved himself from going from average and move him all the way into good. I really don't know where to put this guy still, because we've seen him, like, his floor is probably being about average and his ceiling is all-star. But right now he's kind of playing right in the middle, and I guess that puts him in the good tier. So Andrew Benintendi in good. He's been a nice player for the Royals. I'm sure the Red Sox wish they had him instead of Francie Cordero. Alex Dickerson. Alex Dickerson's a platoon guy, of course, in left field for the Giants. This year, he's not really doing that great. It's crazy how you stretch out his at-bats, and he doesn't hit as well as he has in the past. But for Alex Dickerson, on the IL, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll put him in average right now. I don't really think too much of platoon guys to begin with. He was pretty sick the last 2 years in that platoon role, but I felt like he was outperforming expectations. I'm going to put him in average, not having a great season this year. This is Austin Hayes. For Austin Hayes, I think Austin Hayes also, he's a good fielder. He hits okay. You know, we'll put him in average. Austin Hayes is an average player. Like, his bat is just slightly below league average. His glove is just slightly above it. I think you put those two together, bang, you get an average player in Austin Hayes. Okay, for Alex Kirill of the Minnesota Twins, not gonna lie, didn't know this is what he looked like, but Kirill also very average. I think this is gonna be a theme of left fielders. He's just average out there, fine defensively, fine at the plate. It's his rookie season, so we haven't had a lot of exposure what kind of player he can be. Obviously, he has a lot of hype around him, but right now, based on what we've seen, I think he falls right in that average spot. Andrew Mccutchen. I'm gonna put Andrew Mccutchen in the good category. He's a guy who gets on base, has had some pop in his bat this year, looking really good at the plate. Now in the outfield, he's looked pretty horrible, and that's going to come with age, of course. He's just not going to have that same step that he once had, but at the plate, he gets on base. He's hitting for some power a little bit this year. I think it's safe to put Andrew Mccutchen in the good left fielder tier. AJ Pollock of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I would also put him in the good category. Again, probably works best in a platoon scenario, but he has some pop in that bat, still an above average hitter. He's a center fielder playing a corner position, so that's always a positive. He's a good athlete out there. I don't think he's as good as we've seen him play the last few years, where he's been almost at an all-star caliber, but right now for the Dodgers, he's a very good left fielder amongst a class that's just honestly not particularly amazing. Bryan Reynolds. Bryan Reynolds goes in the all-star category. This is a guy that I've gone as high superstar, I've gone as low as average sometimes, but I think that we're finally seeing the Bryan Reynolds that we saw in his rookie season, hitting for a high average, having some pop in that bat, which is nice because that had always been a concern for Bryan Reynolds. He's a good outfielder, could even play a little bit of center field if you need him to. I like Bryan Reynolds a lot. I'm going to put him in the all-star category. One of the better players on the Pirates. For Corey Dickerson, this is tough because we've seen him be like sometimes a good outfielder. I think I'll also put him in average, maybe closer to that below average tier, but again, he's like a solid glove in left field. He's fine out there. And then offensively, hits for somewhat of an average, walks a little bit, doesn't strike out, puts the ball in play, doesn't hit for power. I don't really know where to put him. Like, I'm tempted to put him below average. We'll see how we feel as the video goes on. He might be moved. Clint Frazier. Clint Frazier goes in average. I know he's improved defensively. He was up for a Gold Glove, so I don't necessarily know if I can call him a terrible outfielder anymore. In the same regards, 60 games is not enough to show if a guy has really made that change defensively, because this year he's been piss poor in the outfield. He has the 1 percentile OAA. He's been horrible because he's not a good outfielder. So I'm willing to say that he's like not good. Sure, I won't call him trash. His back can be good. His back can be lethal at times, but it hasn't been this year. I think that lands him in average. But Clint Frazier, I want to put him in below average, but we've seen what we can get out of him, so it could just be a tough stretch. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Christian Yelich, talk about tough stretches. He's having one right now, but there's no doubt that he's a superstar, and most likely, from what I'm looking at on this list, the best left fielder in the game. We saw him win an MVP in 2018, should have won it in 2019, arguably. 2020 and 2021, having some injuries, COVID season, everything's been going weird. He's still walking at an absolutely elite rate. He's just not getting those power numbers that we once saw and hitting for an average. I don't know what it is with Christian Yelich, but I really do think he's still a superstar. He has to go in that tier for me. David Dahl's tough. David Dahl was supposed to be the left fielder in Texas and has basically played himself out of it. We've seen that he can be an all-star caliber player at times, but we haven't seen it in a little bit. So for me, I think I'm going to put him in below average. I'm not going to put him in trash because there are some guys on this list that I go, oh yeah, they're definitely trash. David Dahl's not one of them, but he's definitely not very good anymore. I don't know what happened to him, but he's lost something. The freight train, David Peralta, Bengals' favorite player. David Peralta's good. He's got a very solid glove. He hits basically league average at worst, above average other times. So like, he's a good player. I think he goes in that category with those guys like Mccutchen, Benintendi, Pollock. They all fall in the same thing. Like, they do something pretty well, and then they also are like at the worst average. So I think Peralta is a good outfielder, left fielder. Dom Smith. I don't know what to do with Dom. This one's so tough. Dom's looked terrible this year, but he's been so sick the other 2 years. And defensively, he's actually gotten better this year, which is so weird. I'm gonna put Dom in the good category as well, but oh man, I don't know. People are gonna give me crap. Giants fans, you have some slack here. Maybe this is my Mets bias coming in because like Alex Dickerson's kind of doing the same thing. I don't know though. Dom should be good. There's stuff that tells you that Dom will be good. He's just not doing it this year. His plate discipline's been terrible. Oh, it's so tough. It's so tough. He's towards the back end of good, top of average. But I put him in good because, yeah, Mets bias. Okay, I did it. Fine, whatever. Eloy Jimenez. Eloy goes in All-Star. I know he hasn't played this year, but Eloy is an All-Star. One of the best power hitters in the game. The dude drops absolute tanks. While he has no value defensively whatsoever, you don't care because when you hit like Eloy does, that's all you need. This guy started off a little bit slow, but as he's been playing more and more, we saw it last year, he's just improving massively at the plate. Love Eloy Jimenez. He's definitely an All-Star. Eddie Rosario. Eddie Rosario is tough. He's not playing very well this year. Man, I'm thinking about this now. I'm thinking about it long and hard. Okay, I've confirmed it. Dom was better the last few years. Dom's better defensively this year. Rosario's not great defensively ever particularly, and he's struggling a little bit more than Dom this year, and his peak was never as high, so I'm gonna also put Eddie Rosario in the average category. He's just like, again, kind of average. The Twins didn't want him. I don't know how good he really can be. We've seen him at times be fantastic, but this year we're definitely not seeing it, and I think that's probably more of the Eddie Rosario we can expect. Francie Cordero's trash. There's just no other way to say it. We know the top quality stuff that he could have. He has all the makings of a guy who could be sick. He just doesn't actually play well. Really fast, hits the ball very hard, throws the ball very hard. Pretty good glove, but none of it comes together in a game, and I don't know how many times you can give him a chance here. I think Francie Cordero just goes in trash now. Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson goes in good. A very offensive first outfielder. He's been so streaky, it's hard to say. Like, he started off the year not hitting any homers for the Cubs, then he got super hot, then he gets a little cold, then he gets hot. That's kind of been the story of Jock Peterson's career. He is a streaky player, but I think at the end of the day, he's an outfielder that teams would like to have in a corner. At the absolute worst, he's a platoon like you saw with AJ Pollock the last few years, and he's good. He's good. He gets on base, hits home runs. Justin Upton. Justin Upton's so weird to rank. J Up is playing at an all-star caliber level right now, but I think J Up is just really a good left fielder. I don't know how long this is gonna stick. A guy in his 33-year-old season who the last few years, yes, battling some injury, hasn't looked great. Is this just a hot stretch again? The sample size is so small. He hasn't really been at this level since like what, 2017, 2018 times, but I do think he's good. I'll put him in good. He has the ability to move into all-star if he keeps going for a full season, but it's so hard for me to put an aging guy like this who's just kind of having like a little renaissance to his career in the all-star caliber level with guys like Reynolds, Eloy, even a Christian Yelich. And then we got Jesse Winker, and Jesse Winker goes in the superstar category. I'm willing to throw him all the way to the top. This guy, what he's doing at the plate is unbelievable. Defensively, still not great, but we don't care. Superstars, when you hit like he does, don't need to play the field. He's just mashing, and you've seen him get better and better every year offensively. He went from being good offensively to great to elite. I mean, 1,000+ OPS. He's got close to 20 home runs. He's hitting doubles. He walks, gets on base. He does everything you want from a left-handed power bat in the lineup. He's really helping picking up the slack from Joey Votto, who's disappeared offensively. Winker stepped in and been almost the new Joey Votto. He's been so sick. Kyle Schwarber. The Mets definitely helped out his stats this weekend, giving up 5 homers in 2 games to him. So he went from 13 homers, which is a solid year, to 18, going, oh my goodness, he's having a fantastic year. I think when all things are said and done, Kyle Schwarber evens out to a very good outfielder, very good left fielder. And now I'm starting to realize that there's a lot of good ones. And even on the average level, they're decent average ones. But yeah, Schwarber, I think, goes into that good category. He's just not great defensively. I know he's improved, but he's still not very good out there. At the plate, he's a home run guy, that's for sure. He has that softball swing, but I don't know. Hot week really gonna help boost his numbers. Like prior to the Mets series, he had 13 homers with that 773 OPS, and the Mets played him and helped him out big time. So yeah, I think he's a good player. That's about it. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. What do I do with you? Because Lourdes, in the past, you've played at an all-star caliber level. This year, you've cooled off a little bit. You're still a good defensive left fielder. Despite not being a conventional guy out there, he still does pretty well. I think he also goes in the good category, which now makes me think that the good category is really more average, or I need to put a lot of more guys in all-star. I don't know. I'm fine with it. Lourdes Gurriel and good, that's, I think, where he belongs. Michael Brantley. Michael Brantley goes in the all-star category. Brantley's great. Brantley's awesome. He's your, like, definition of an all-star left fielder. I just can't put him in superstar because he just doesn't do the superstar stuff, but he's really, really good. Like, he's almost what I can expect Ryan Reynolds to turn into as he gets older and a little less athletic. Brantley plays still a fine left field, puts the ball in play, high average guy, high on base, high OPS in the 850s. Like, he's a pro at the plate. He's fantastic. I just can't put him in superstar. Like, I think he's just very, very very good. He's an all-star caliber player. Mark Canna, another guy who is just an all-star caliber player. And I think you can start to really see what makes up these tiers. You're seeing the guys at superstar. You're seeing the guys at all-star good. I think they're becoming clear now. Canna is an all-star caliber player. First off, very good defensively, very, very good in the outfield, and he hits at a really high level. He's a guy whose OPS is always hovering around 800 to 850, puts the ball in play, has some pop in the back, gets on base. I don't know what there's not to like about Mark Canna. He's really good. Marcelo Zuna, trash person. Speaking strictly on his baseball ability, though, he is an all-star. I'm not going to talk too much more about it. He's done some terrible things off the field, but I'm just going to talk strictly about his baseball ability. We've seen it. He's an all-star caliber left fielder. Randy Rosario. I love me some Randy. I think Randy also goes in the good tier. I want to put Randy in the all-star category so bad, but over like the stretch that we've seen him actually play, you know what? Randy is an all-star. Randy is an all-star. I know he's a little down this year, but I got to include the postseason too, what he did there in the games that we've seen him play. He's basically put up about 120 games having an OPS around 900. That's all-star level. That's almost superstar level. The reason I don't put him in superstar is because of the down year this year, and I don't want to just ride the high from the postseason in 2020. I love Randy. We're a big Randy fan over here. I didn't think much of him at first, but he changed me big time. I think he's a superstar like in the way that people know him in some MF named Randy, but I think in play he's an all-star caliber outfielder. Robbie Grossman. He's anything but gross, but I do think Robbie Grossman's average. He's above average offensively. Defensively doesn't give you much out there. I mean, he's a corner outfielder. That's exactly what he is. He's going to get on base. He's essentially like a poor man's Brandon Nimmo in my eyes. It's Robbie Grossman for me. He's just average. Ryan Meltopia, my boy, the most electric player in baseball, electric factory. As much as you are electric, you are also a very average outfielder. Don't hit for power, hit for a high average in Coors. You don't really even get on base. Your defense is suspect at times. I love Ryan Meltopia, but I can't put him any higher than average. Tyler O'Neill. I would put Tyler O'Neill in superstar category based on how he's playing this year, but we've seen him have a rough stretch, so I'm gonna put him in all-star with the ability to move into superstar by the end of the year because he really is having a fantastic season. 913 OPS, 15 homers. He's a good outfielder, great athlete. I'd love to see him walk just a little bit. That could really push him in the superstar category, but he's playing so well, he deserves all-star. Tommy Pham goes in the good category, which now again very much cements that the average left fielder is actually a good left fielder, and that means average is actually a little below average. Confusing, I know, it doesn't make sense, but I don't feel like the guys that are good should be called average because I think they are good. I think guys in average are average. Tommy Pham, I think, is good. He's great at the plate, gets on base at a very, very high level, doesn't chase, plays a good left field. 2020 was a down year. The dude got stabbed recently. Like, he's got a crazy story, but I think he's a very good left fielder. And then Taylor Trammell, fan of the channel, friend of the channel. Very, very hard to rank him because he's kind of stuck in that 4A level right now. At the major league level, he struggles. At the AAA level, he dominates. And I don't think that he's actually a below average player. I think he's going to be a very, very good pro. But right now, based on his play, I think we would have to put Taylor Trammell in below average. I really do. I think that's probably where he ends up being right now. But for his career, the dude's going to get higher and higher. He's very, very talented, has all the skills that you need for a good player, just hasn't been able to show them yet. So Taylor Trammell goes into below average, and it pains me to do it. Dude's super nice, but I got to keep it real. So that's my tier list for left fielders in Major League Baseball. I'd love to know what you think about it down in the comment section below. Do you agree with me or disagree with me? Drop a like on the tier list if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description. Going to be posting a ton about the MLB Draft Combine, so if you're interested in that, follow me over there. And that's where I'm going to wrap up today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Bye!